Hey guys, this is Backlog Gaming here with a build video for Warrior. Now this is going to be a level 80 Warrior that I have here that I'm going to be showing you guys the PvE build of for dungeons, fractals, basically anything you want to run PvE wise before Heart of Thorns. This may change after Heart of Thorns, but before Heart of Thorns, this is what I am currently running on my Warrior. So let's get to it and check out the gear. What gear you will be running in this whole time is Berserker's gear. Everything is ascended on my character. If you don't have ascended gear, you can get Berserker stats on exotic gear by running COF and COE. If you're not familiar with those two dungeons, or you can craft your armor for those using Powerful Bloods, which is a T6 material. So from here, we'll see on the accessory side, we have the back piece, we have the 2 earrings, we have the 2 rings, and we have the amulet. Now this is all Berserker type stats, which is power, precision, ferocity. I also have the infusions for the +5 power gain on these, so you can definitely see that we put in time. So from there, on the far left for the armor, I'm running Ascended armor with versatile mighty infusions and the superior rune of strength. Now this is going to increase your might duration and overall might for this build that you're going to be using. So as you can see, power, precision, ferocity on this whole left hand side. Now the 2 weapons that you're going to want to be using is that we have a great sword here with the Sigil of Night and Sigil of Force. Again, if you have ascended, you can slot these with the +5 power to gain an extra 10 power while you're attacking enemies. Then you also have axe and mace. So from here, on the axe we have Sigil of the Night, and then on the mace I am running the Sigil of Force. Now, you may want to also keep in your inventory, and it really doesn't matter stat-wise what you're using, but you could definitely use a Warhorn. This will basically give an AoE swiftness buff to individuals when you're running from point A to point B in the dungeon, and there is no type of mobs that you would be attacking. So if you equip this, you'll see here you can use Charge, which is going to give swiftness to everybody when you blow that horn. So it's definitely recommended that you do that. Also, I recommend if you're running dungeons or fractals, you can also have another great sword. In this one, you can basically use daytime. Now I have Sigil of the Outlaws, and the other one that is I can't remember it, but it's for the Honor of the Waves dungeon sigil, and I swap those out constantly, and then I keep Sigil of Force at a constant. The reason you do this is because Sigil of Night only works at night. It does not work at all during the day, so you take a damage decrease if you just have one great sword that you're using. So that pretty much covers all the gear that you have here. Again, it's going to be Berserker stats. You're going to want to optimize DPS so far in Guild Wars 2. So that covers the gear. Let's get started with the actual build. The build that we have here is going to be strength, arms, and tactics. Now with strength, I am taking restorative strength. Now this using a healing skill grants might. Not the best, but we don't really do falling damage, and physical is based on how much yeah, and we don't use physical skills, so from there we don't have to really pick something, so we're just going to pick whatever gives a might because that's what this is focused around. The next one that we have here is going to be Forceful Greatsword. This is going to give us a damage increase and a reduced charge rate on our Greatsword skills, which is highly important, but the main thing that you see here is that we can give might. That's the big thing, is that this build is all focused around might. The next one is Berserkers Power. Gain a damage boost when you use a burst skill. Boost power increases based on how much adrenaline you have built up. So good stat there. Another one that you might want to use is critical axe hits gain extra adrenaline, gain ferocity with each axe, so you are wielding reduced recharge of axe skills. Not the best, but this is definitely better over this, so that's why I go with Berserker's Power. Now for the arms tree, where you're going to be using the Signet Mastery. Now anytime Signets grant a stacking precision buff on use and will recharge faster. Cast Signet of Might whenever you strike a foe below the health threshold. The health threshold is 50%, so any mob that you hit below 50%, you're going to automatically use Signet of Might. Now, you don't have to have Signet of Might within your actual loadout, like I have it here, but you actually don't need that. So if you even have it not selected, let's say this is your current loadout or this is your current loadout, then you don't actually need it in your loadout to use it. It will just automatically happen for you. The next one that we're going for is Deep Strike. Fury You apply also grants condition damage. This is just basically nothing you can really do here. You're not going to have too many dazed foes, so this is kind of pointless. Plus, we get really close to capping 100% crit chance with this build, so we really don't need any more. Sword skills have an increased critical hit chance against bleeding foes, but reduces recharge on sword skills. Again, we don't need the critical chance that are on those two, so we go with Fury You apply grants condition damage. So if you're rocking the Signet here, which is the Signet of Rage, that grants AoE Fury for 25 seconds, it will also give them that buff of increased 150 condition damage, which is great. Next one that I use is dual wielding attack speed that increases when wielding a sword, axe, or mace in your offhand. You get a 15% increase, so it ain't bad if you have to switch during a battle and you're kind of on a cooldown. You get a little bit more attacks in there. But there is another one that you can do. Here is that critical hits grant bonus adrenaline and gain a stacking condition damage effect. You'll also gain burst skills when you have increased critical chance, so you can get basically crit on all your burst skills, which would be nice also. So this is really whatever you want to use. I like the increased attack rate of the dual wielding, but this obviously wouldn't be a bad. Furious wouldn't be bad at all. So from there, now we have tactics. Now this is where the might's going to come into effect for this build. First one, empowered, increased damage for every boon that's on you. The next one that we have here is empowered allies, which basically gives everybody around you 150 power in a 600 area radius. So this is basically an AoE buff that you supply to your party or anybody around you. And then Phalanx Strength, and this is where it's really focused upon, is that when you grant yourself might, you grant it to nearby allies as well. So this passes might. So all this might that we're building up, you pass on to your allies, basically increasing them. Now this is a 25, up to 25 stacks, so you can get quite a bit here of a buff focusing on that. So now we can basically talk about skills. At the beginning of the video, I had to change. You can basically either run Healing Signet or you can run to the limit to increase your burst bar. Either one is fine in my book. I like Healing Signet. It just fits my playstyle more. Signet of Fury, which is going to give us an extra 180 precision. Then we have Banner of Strength, Banner of Discipline. Now these are going to be AoE buffs, so you get basically power and condition damage with one and precision and ferocity with the other. And then you have your Signet of Rage. Now again, when you use this, you're going to pass that might on to other individuals. But another thing that if you're playing full support battle standard, this is an AoE res that's very, very good and can save a lot of wipes if you ever need it. So I highly recommend either of those two. Now, if you have two warriors in the party, one of you should be running each a banner. The other one you guys could swap out for Great Justice, which is going to give AoE Fury, which is going to increase that condition damage, and it's going to also increase 20% crit chance. It'll also give some might to the party. So if you're spreading might, definitely those. I would say then, if you're running this and this together, then one of the other ones can be running battle standard in my book, so that you're not passing off and overriding too much might, but keeping a constant 25 stacks. So guys, to get into some of the consumables that you can be using, if you ever run dungeons, you want to have these right here. These are going to be the powerful potion slaying type nourishment here. They basically give you 10% damage to whatever you're killing, and basically you receive 10% less damage from that enemy back. So they have these for all the dungeons. They're dungeon mark 1, so there's no reason why you shouldn't have them. If you run one dungeon, you can, like one path of a dungeon, you can literally get about 30 of these. So definitely a must in my book. Now, if you're having trouble keeping mind stacks up, fried golden dumplings, the only bad thing about these is that they are getting expensive. So if you look here, they're about 17 silver to purchase them outright from the trading post, and that's per one. Another food that if you're not having trouble with might, maybe you got a couple Ellies that are helping you out, you can use plates of truffle steak. These are very easy to craft and farm, but it's 100 power and 70 precision. If you wanted to buy these from the trading post, they are a little bit more expensive. They are 21 silver. So if you guys want to know how to farm these, go ahead and look for the video on my channel. I got the farming path to where you can literally farm what you need, and then you only have to buy butter and you only have to buy the slab of red meat. But the truffles themselves, I will show you guys on how to do that, so you can constantly create food. You just run it every day. It takes about 5 minutes, and you will make more than enough food that you will consume if you're running dungeons every single night of the week or raiding every single night of the week. So that's it for consumables. There's obviously the other ones like sharpening stones that you can use in AC and whatnot, but this is strictly the build that I'm currently using in PvE. So I find it to be working very well for me. So I thought I would share it with you guys. If you have any questions, feel free to comment down below. I will be here to answer questions for you. I will also be doing other build videos in the future. So if you want to subscribe for more Guild Wars 2 content, that would be great. Don't forget to give it a thumbs up, and I'll see you guys next time.